What's going on, folks? Welcome back to another episode of Flying Brown's Garage. In today's episode, I'm going to start off with a look at that sign. I like that. Tell me what y'all think about that down in the comments. 1978 Ford F-150 hood. Came off of the truck we're about to be working on. Technically it came off Daniel's truck, but it came off the truck. Here it came off the truck that we're working on in this video. 1979 Ford F-150 single cab long wheelbase Dentside Indy 500. We're about to head to Mike's and pick up the engine for this. We got it mild built, or it's not really mildly built, it's kind of stock. I thought it was mild built. 302, and we got it in the last video that y'all saw of this truck. We're going to try to move forward. We're trying to get this thing going, engine swapped, get it running, get it driving, all that good stuff. So without further ado, let's get over there and pick everything up. We have our trailer, we have a tire to sit it on, we got our straps, everything we may need. The battery did die on this, but we got a red top Optima, we got a jumper box, jumper cables, some other things that we may need. And Mike has the engine stand over there that the engine's sitting on, and the engine hoist that we're going to move it with. So, like I said, without further ado, let's get over there, get this thing on the trailer, get it back to the shop, and get to work. Alright folks, we made it over here to Mike's. You can hear him being a hooligan going down the road. I've done pulled the ramps off the trailer. We got our tire there. We're about to start moving some things out of the way so we can get to our engine here, our 302. And we can start getting it on the trailer, strapped down and ready to go. Alright, we got the engine on the trailer strapped down, engine hoist, and we got the engine stand in the back. Probably see you guys tomorrow. We'll pull this thing off the trailer and probably work on it a little bit. Put the valve covers on it, spark plugs, dress this engine up and get it ready to go in the truck. Alright folks, it is the next day out here. We're about to unload this guy. We pulled it in last night from Mike's. Kind of late when we got in, went in, ate, went to bed, all that good stuff. But we're going to put this in the shop. I've decided we were going to put it in the carport up there, but it's going to be kind of a pain in the butt to get it in there, so I decided to put it in the shop. We're going to give Daniel back his engine stand, and we're going to use ours now that we've got it over here and we've got ours accessible. Daniel's will go back to him. Big thank you to Daniel for everything that you've done. I got your engine stand here, bud. It's ready to go. We're gonna put ours on, and let's get this off of here and all that good stuff so we can take that engine stand, or the engine hoist, back to Mike. He loaned me his so I wouldn't have to tear all that apart, which was huge help, so big thanks to Mike too. Actually, I'll go ahead and say a huge thanks to everybody who's made this one happen. This is a huge project truck, and everybody's kind of chipped in to throw parts and stuff, so huge thank you to everybody. Mike was even going to give me another 4-barrel carburetor for it. But I had 2 of those, so I didn't want to take something I already have. But appreciate the offer on that one too. So yeah, let's get y'all on the stand, get this engine unloaded, get it in the shop. Alright, well, with a little bit of fighting on this dirt, and guys, don't do what I do. If you have an option to use concrete, use concrete. But, you know, if you are going to use dirt, I will tell y'all a secret. You can move an engine stand on dirt, but engine hoist is really a no-go. Don't try to move them on the dirt. Be smart, folks. Don't hook up to a car, try to drag it and all that stuff. It just don't work. It sinks in the ground, it twists, it bends, it'll fold over and destroy your shit. Move the vehicle. Now, y'all saw that I had it set up here, and as soon as I lift it up, I move the van out from under it. So what I do if we're doing a car and we're pulling an engine out up there, we lift the engine up, move the car back, get something to grab the engine, move it, do what we got to do with it, put the new engine or the rebuilt engine or whatever, back it back up, lift it back up with the hoist, move the car back under it, and then do it that way. That is the easiest way I've found to do it on gravel or dirt. So y'all be safe and be sure you're doing it the right way. Try to use concrete, but if you don't have that option, that's the way to do it safely. If you're doing it alone and you want to make sure that the engine hoist doesn't topple over, get in a spot where you can strap the engine hoist down and it won't move. And I'm not talking to the ground. You can do almost if anybody's familiar with camping, how they tie down tents, where they have a string that goes out sometimes and it'll tie off on a certain spot, and that string tension will hold it together on all 4 corners. You can do the same with the engine hoist to make sure it's stable, and then move the vehicle out from under it. But with that being said, we did get our engine in here, 0302 small block. I know Ford really didn't technically have a small block or a big block, that kind of carried over from Chevy, but oh well, I'm just going to go with it. We got our valve covers from our 351 up there that we're going to install on this 302. We've got a carburetor for it. I don't know if it came with a spacer plate. Now I'm trying to wonder, did it come with a riser? And I don't think it did, so that might be an issue. We might end up needing one, but for now we're going to install this the way it is, except for cleaning it up, trying to maybe paint it, clean it, get it dressed up, get all its parts on it, and then we'll stick it in. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and I've got 2 tires to dismount for Mike in the back of the van over there. And I've also got to take his engine hoist back and carburetor lift block, all that good stuff. So we're going to go ahead and do that off camera, run the mics, and we're going to jump on the other video. We're working on the Dentside, the blue one, and try to get some more of that finished up in a couple days. We'll come down here and mess with this. It's been a day, and we're down here in the shop looking at this 302 here. I think we're going to go ahead and start putting this together with what we have. So let's start tearing this thing apart and getting what we have on it. We have a bunch of parts laid out here on the table, and we're going to install them as we go. We did take the plugs off of this engine. Thought we were going to fit in the 351. They didn't. Plugs in that engine are twice the size of this. So, yeah, valve cover change, fuel pump goes on, get the pulleys on, fan on, plugs and wires, our coil, we can install that. Distributor for the Durspark, and a couple of other things here that we have. Carburetor, all that stuff. Might pull this intake and clean it. I did pull this intake at Mike's, so it does have to be resealed anyway. So, probably go ahead and tear it down to that and pull that out and all that good stuff. So, without further ado, let's start tearing into this thing, getting her dressed up. Alright, we got our valve covers on. Gaskets and all, PCV valves in. Got to get another oil breather cap. I've got one in the back. There's our old valve covers. We're going to put all the old parts to the side as we're doing this and try to clean this thing up the best we can. I am going to attempt to clean the intake. I would like it clean. Sure would look a lot better. That is for sure. I think what we may do next is go ahead and swap out the plugs and get the pulleys on the front, and then we'll focus on other things, but definitely front dressing and spark plugs. Alright folks, well, we have our fuel pump cleaned and on, and got a fresh cut gasket. I coated it lightly in RTV on both sides. Like I said, fuel pump has been cleaned. I have to replace the line because the line that came with this engine got kinked, and when I tried to unkink it, it did crack. So we're going to rob the one from the other truck. We're also going to have to rob the distributor from the other truck because I didn't realize that both of the distributors that Daniel provided me are both HEI GM distributors. So we do have an option later on to convert both trucks to HEI. When I put the valve covers on, I figured out these grommets were wrong, so I swapped them. We got a PCV valve over here that's cleaned and nice, the best one I have, with a good line, cleaned up. We did not have a breather cap for this side. We did, but it didn't fit. So I was wondering, could I pop out the grommet and maybe this oil cap that Mike had given me a while back, maybe it fit. Well, it did. So I might leave this on here. I might actually put this on old blue and bring that cap down. But I like the way it's looking. We do have the spark plugs all the way in, all around. Got them cleaned up. We did start cleaning some parts. Like in here, we got our barbs cleaned for the hoses, heater hoses, and the bottom radiator hose. Let's see. This side spark plug's done. We got our pulleys done. They're cleaned up. Fans cleaned up and on. I do need to get one more bolt. Apparently the other truck had one stripped out, so they threaded it with something else, and it's a whole different bolt thread. It's a coarse, while these are fine, so I need to find another fine thread. We have our cap, rotor button, some bracketry. We have a old thermostat, but I cleaned it and lubed it, so I'm hoping it works. Let's see. The best coil I have. Got some wires here that hopefully will do the job. A couple carburetors to choose from, so on and so forth. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and pull the parts that we need off the other truck. And probably go put this oil cap on old blue. And I'll bring the vented cap down here for this engine, because I think I'd like that better. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's see here. Pop that out. Arm it out. Pop our oil cap on. Alright. Pop that in. Pop that in. That's a little more like it right there. I dig. I dig. A lot better. I like that oil cap better on old blue, and I like vented cap better on this. Just looks good. Alright, let's go pull the rest of the parts that we need off of the Indy truck, our project for this engine. Let's pull us fuel line first. Because technically, kind of blocking distributor now. Got it twisted loose. Hopefully I can. Take it off there. I think it's gone. Damn it. Back in now. Damn. It's stuck on there. There we go. It's starting to come. Fuel line. And distributor clamp and bolt, because we don't have that either. Alright, let's pull our Duraspark distributor out of this truck. And there we are. So, get down to the shop. Well. We got a fuel line on it. I went and robbed the one off the other truck. Cleaned it up too, so it's nice and clean. Everything that I'm cleaning, I'm also putting a layer of lubricant on it so it doesn't rust. We also robbed the distributor off the other truck. It is cleaned up, put together. Got the little hold down bolt and everything cleaned up. I went ahead and cleaned up our bracket. We cleaned up lubed up our thermostat in hopes that it'll work. We'll have to cut a gasket and everything. Here is our oil pump drive key that we'll have to get down in the engine. Other than that, I think I'm going to call it a night, except for probably going up to the truck up there, getting the 2 bolts out of the engine for that bracket, go ahead and installing it. That way it's out of the way and done. And then I can focus on tomorrow. We'll pull the intake, clean it, lube it, get it sealed, put it back on, get the distributor in, get everything buttoned up, and then we'll probably take this thing and wash it out. I don't know if I don't really want to do it in here. I need to do it somewhere else, like outside. But damn, moving this thing is a pain in the ass. I don't know, we'll see. But we definitely need to get it cleaned up. Because I'd like that block to look a little better than that. So, tomorrow we'll finish up here. I'm also going to be working on Old Blue tomorrow, so it'll probably be tomorrow evening that we come back on this. I'll work on Blue in the day, and when it starts getting cold in the evening, that's when we jump in the shop and work in here. So, with that being said, I will see you guys tomorrow evening. We will jump back on this and hopefully get just a little more done. Alright, it's a couple days later. We did work on this yesterday some, not on camera, but we did work on it. We got the alternator installed with belt, all the bolts that I needed on the water pump, all the bolts have been cleaned. I went through and pulled every bolt one by one and cleaned it really good. Still yet to pull the intake. We're about to do that now. I gotta find a spacer for the pump here. Otherwise everything else is pretty much buttoned up. I did get our cooling temp sensor in from the other engine. we clean that up. And we're about to pull the intake and clean it, and then get it set back in place, resealed, and then really we're going to be ready to stab this engine here soon. I did get an agreement with the guy I got the truck from last night. So the story is let me turn down some of this brightness here. The story is I got the truck from a guy here in town. I got it for payment for working on his daughter's truck, but his daughter's truck has yet to come here. So the truck's been sitting here for a while. He's let me go ahead and take parts, all that stuff. But he's having financial issues. He's having financial issues getting that truck over here. So, since we've yet to work on it, I didn't feel right asking him for a bill of sale. I don't feel like that's right. So I asked him for an agreement stating that the truck was mine for payment for working on the other one, which is still going to be here soon. It is a 78 lifted F-150, Dentside short bed, step side. So needs floor pans and a couple other things we'll be doing when it arrives. But since I got an agreement with the guy, now I can go ahead and start working on the truck. I did tell him I had an engine I want to go ahead and stab in there. Got some seats, got some other things, and that's why I was like, hey, can I go ahead and get a agreement? And he was fine with that, so we're good. So that means in this video we will also be stabbing this engine in the truck. So let's get the intake pulled, get it cleaned, and then we can start getting this thing ready to go in. Alright, we got our intake here. We did clean it, top and bottom. I think what I'm going to do next is we have two things we got to do before we put this back on. Technically, I could do one of the things with it on, but one of the things I cannot. I mean, I could, but I shouldn't. We have a broke-off bolt right here in the front. I'm glad it's in the front because I can always drill it through and just put a regular bolt and nut on it, or I can put some all thread in there and make it a stud. But that right there is a problem, so we're going to have to drill that out. As you see, it is broke off in there good. So we're going to get the drill and do some drilling. But once we get it drilled, we can put our intake on. I would actually probably like to go ahead and swap or take the water neck off here, our thermostat neck, put our thermostat in, cut us a new gasket, RTV, the gasket with a nice light coat of RTV on both sides, reinstall this guy, and then we can go ahead and put our intake on. I do need to find the bung for this rear back here. Honestly, what is that? Is that like a vacuum port, maybe? Like I said, I'm not a whole lot familiar with these old Ford engines, and I'm starting to get familiar with them. The more I own them, so I do have three, two 302s and one 351 Windsor. So I ought to get familiar with them pretty quick. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and drill that hole and get that bolt out so we can, yeah, put us a stud or a through bolt in there with a nut, and then we can put our intake on. right. Got our hole drilled. Took us a minute. As you can see, it's drilled clean through. So, next step, sealant, intake. Alright folks, back on the old Indianapolis 500, 1979 Dentside Ford. We're going to get ready to pull this engine. I have not finished up in the shop yet, but we're going to go ahead and start getting things ready to yank. We yanked the bed today because needed to get in here and harvest some crap out of the tank. Needed the float for Old Blue. This tank's usable. That one is definitely not, so I'm hoping that float and everything will work with this sending unit. And that wiring too, because I had to rob the wiring. But we're thinking about going ahead and pulling the bed off because we're wanting flatbed anyway, and it would be a lot easier to work on. But I did go ahead tonight and lift it up so it's on ramps, and we're going to go ahead and pull all the AC components, the rest of the AC components out, because for now it's just going to be a heat truck until we do get the AC components repaired, replaced, or whatever. So we're going to go ahead and yank them for now because we're not going to be using them at the moment. So we're going to yank the cooler here, set it off to the side. We're going to yank the AC condenser, the canister here, all the lines for it, all that good stuff, and then we'll pull the radiator, the hoses, and get a little more access to this thing. So we're going to put you on the stand and we're going to get to work. Alright, so I was gonna reach up in there, but you know what? It's kind of hard to get in and out of there with the hood on. So I decided, since we're in here, let's pull the hood too. That will make things a lot easier to tackle this job. So I'm gonna put y'all on the stand, back y'all up. Let's pull the hood. Alright, it is getting late and cold. Time to head in the house for the night. I did pull the spark plugs on both sides, so we're ready to pull the manifolds off to the side and unbolt this engine. All we got to do at this point is unbolt the torque converter, motor mounts, transmission. We'll run a strap or two under the transmission so it doesn't drop. And then we can roll this thing back, get our hoist in here, hoist this thing up and out of this guy. So, with that being said, I will see you guys back out here again tomorrow. We will continue on tearing this thing out of the old Indy 500. Alright, it's a whole couple days later. We're back on our Indy 500 Dentside project. Got Goob out here with us today, as known as the Marshall Boy. Got the side open today too. We just finished Old Blue for now. We haven't finished the video yet, but she still needs a few things, so we're kind of waiting because it's to the point where I have none of those things and I need to acquire them. Battery, oil, voltage regulator, gasoline, those 4 things. And to check the fluids, top off everything, and old girl should be going. We got our turn signals working, front and rear, brake lights, running lights, marker lights, headlights, tail lights, everything you can think of, interior lights, they're all done. So, with that being said, we're moving on to this guy, and last thing y'all saw us do was tear in here, tear the hood off, tear the radiator out, tear out all the AC components and get it opened for me to be able to get in here and get this engine out. Today what we're going to do is focus on pulling the manifolds off of the engine and getting this ready to pull. So that requires, really, in all honesty, pull the manifolds, pull the motor mounts, pull the bolts for the transmission to the engine, and then pull the our torque converter bolts, and this thing should come on out. So with that being said, let's jump into it today and get those manifolds off and see how far we can get. Alright folks, a couple days later. Been a rough couple days. I kind of get these migraines sometimes, and it had a 3-day migraine, so didn't do anything on this, and plus we're kind of at a standstill until I get the engine hoist out from down there in the shop up here, get the bed off of this thing so we can move it. And also I need to get the carb spacer lift block from Mike again that I took back, that I probably should have held on to because I knew I was going to need it. I don't know. I do got to go over there and change the pinion angle on his OBS tomorrow, so we'll probably be grabbing a carb spacer lift block tomorrow. But for today, I think what we're going to do is I want to start to get to this interior. So we've got some work to do. This isn't going to be like Blue. We've got some rust. There's a rust hole right there. A couple small ones up through there. That's a drain hole there. We've got rust, I need to do a frame patch here. I mean, it's still there, but it's a little rusted, so I kind of want to patch it to make it stronger so it doesn't flex or contort or break eventually. And this old girl just needs some repairs. So I think what we're going to do is we are going to pull this window out. And I think I can do it. I think I did this wrong last time. You're actually supposed to pull this track out here. And then it gives you the flex to move this and get the window out, and then you take the rubber out. So that's probably why that windshield up really good, but you live and you learn. I wish I'd have known that. I probably could have saved it and saved me a couple $100, but you know, like I said, you live and you learn. We're gonna have some rain today, I do believe. Skies aren't looking the greatest, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna rain. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this interior apart. There is a bunch of parts in here that I have been storing, all in the floorboards. We have the OBS seats that we need to take inside. I've got electronics that I need to take inside. We've got a lot of stuff here that we just need to try to get out of here. There's stuff behind the seat. We need to take this seat back out, the stock seat of course, and get to the floor so we can coat it. Get the sound deadener in there, get the coating on it. Start cleaning up this interior, pull that window out, and then we need to start working on, you know, welding and all kinds of shit that needs to be done. There's a lot to be done on this truck. So today is going to be interior work and getting ready for body work, which is definitely needs to be done. We're probably not going to pull the window today. Probably just pull the interior out and start working on the inside of this unit. So let's get to it. Alright folks, we got a cleaned out cab. Looking pretty good. Definitely some rust holes in the floor. We've got rust in this corner here. It's got rust in the corner of this door. I just noticed something about this truck that I didn't notice before. It doesn't have the option for the floor vents. I guess since it was an AC and a heat truck, it did not have these vents. Because on that side, connects to the box. Yeah. Different stuff here, guys. Different stuff. It's got duct work through the dash, all that good stuff. Stuff that Old Blue does not have. So, let me turn the brightness down some. I feel like it's a little bright for y'all's viewing. There we go. But, since we got this down to here, we've got a couple of brackets here. I'm guessing there used to be running boards on this truck. I believe there are brackets on both sides. I'm going to remove those, and then we're going to go in. We're going to remove the seat and get this cab completely open and accessible for us to be able to tackle the interior, which is going to be quite a job. Nothing like this one. The only differences is I don't have to build door panels on that one, which I did want a truck with original door panels, and I'm very glad that I have one. At least one. But I don't know, these have grown on me. I kind of like these old door panels for some reason. They just sit right. But other than that, I think we are going to build a console for that one too. It has the dash. This one didn't. As y'all can tell, this dash is from a older truck because of the way the cover is down here for the column. I'll show y'all in a second how a 78-79's cover is supposed to be. This is a dash out of a 1974. So I kind of like that it's an older dash. But we got the seat. We just have to build a frame to connect to that frame. So it will slide back and forth other than this one. This one is a stationary seat. But, you know, it don't have headliner. We're going to have to do one of those. But everything else is there in that cab, and we're going to utilize it to the best of our abilities. Here is the 78-79 covers. So, they are different. Alright, we got our seat out. Sitting right there. The rest of this cab actually looks really good shape. It's really not that bad. It's I mean, if you look along back here, no rust. There's a little bit of surface in that corner, but it's just surface. More the paint's chipping than anything. Then along back of the window here is in good shape still. All up along here. All along the top. The only thing I did find, there's no rust in this floor pan over here. Let's get in here. Oh. There is no rust in this floor pan except for one itty bitty little spot right there. Not a big deal. Our floor sealant will cover that. Alright, I've been working on this quite a bit here, past hour or so. And we got this cab floor cleaned up pretty good. There was a bunch of silicone that they had put on the floor pan here. I went ahead, came in here, scraped it off, came in here with a wire wheeled everything down, got all the rust, you know, decent. And what we're going to do is we're going to square off with a Sharpie where we're going to cut some sheet metal and patch in. That's the plan, just to kind of get this, you know, buttoned up here. We have a few places that definitely need some attention. There's a hole there, small hole there, a couple little holes there. We'll probably throw a patch there, patch here. Probably do a patch here, just because of the fact that there's a decent bit of pitting there, and then definitely a patch here. So probably a total of 1, 2, 3. I'll probably patch this whole area. Actually, I might just do one whole big patch right there. It might be the best option. It'd actually be the strongest option. So probably one big patch here, one right here, and then one right there. Everything else on this floor looks good. After we I think what we're going to do real quick is go ahead and scrub this thing down and then let it dry out overnight. Next day, you know, come back out here, and then we can address more on this unit. So I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is get me a brush and go ahead and start scrubbing this thing out. Alright, y'all just saw us scrub this thing down. Look at the difference. This thing looks good, guys. Once it dries, we'll mark off for some patchwork. We scrubbed doors, door panels, dash, back wall, the window, all around inside the cab, floor, tunnel, floor pans. Everything got a good scrubbing, and I think it turned out well. I don't want this water sitting in here too long, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come through here with a towel and dry up the majority of this that I can, and then let the rest of it air dry. I'll probably leave this cab open overnight. We'll come back out here tomorrow, like I said, mark off for our patch panels and start cutting and riveting those in so we can coat this floor and get ready to build a seat frame and put the OBS seat in the old Indy truck. Alright, I got this thing dried up with a towel. Sure looks a heck of a lot better, smells a heck of a lot better in here. We also got our seat track off up here. There's a driver's side, there's a passenger side, and we got our seat here. If anybody's interested in the seat, $75, does not come with the track. Perfect for recovering, comes with the bottom door cards if you want them. Must pick up, message forward location. Also, shout out to Jeff in Virginia, I do believe. Keep forgetting where he's from. I think it's Virginia. Thanks for watching, and yeah, if y'all want to shout out, just comment or just say something. But with that being said, we're gonna call it a night, and we'll see you guys again tomorrow. We'll be out here coating and patching the floor. Well, we got the old 302 out of there after all. Let me grab a flashlight here, show you what we're looking at. Those engine mounts may be in better shape than the ones that come on that Lincoln 302 down there, so we may be swapping those out. I know for a fact, I do not think that engine down there has the flywheel slash pressure plate, whatever you want to call that guy. I need to inspect it real quick. It looks like there is a little bit of a tooth right there. There's a couple over here. It don't look too bad. Mostly. So we will be reusing that, because like I said, I do not think that engine down there has one. And the backing plate trim, we'll be reusing that as well. Everything else is looking good though. Just came out pretty easy. So now that it is so freaking easy to roll, my transmission pinion angle isn't the happiest, I will say. So we may grab a ratchet strap and fix that real quick. That way I can back this thing up and we can kind of come in here and scrape this and wash this out and get it ready for the new engine to go in. Alright folks, we pushed this thing out of here, scraped it the best we could, got it rinsed off. We're going to let it dry for an hour or so, and then we're going to slide it back on in here for the night, and then tomorrow we'll focus on getting the other engine up here cleaned and ready to go in. Maybe we can get the engine stabbed and part of the interior done in this video, which would be awesome. I doubt we'll be able to get it running in this video. Don't let that deter you from turning it off. Or don't let that make you turn it off, as I should say. We got a lot to do here. There's going to be a step-by-step process to get this truck back on the road. We are going to need some stuff, so it will be a part 1, part 2, part 3, whatever type of deal. But needless to say, we're still going to get it done one way or the other. So engine will go in for sure, the new engine of course, and everything buttoned back up under the hood back on it, seat in it, floor coated, patched. Hopefully we can find us some carpet or something to put in it, maybe even a headliner if I can get my wife to fab me something up real quick. So that's the plan, and I will see y'all guys back out here again tomorrow, where we will be stabbing an engine if everything goes well. Alright folks, it is the next day. We've done got the area up there cleaned up, trucks moved back. We've done kind of washed the engine bay best we can, and at this point I think what we're going to go ahead and do is get this up there. We did go ahead and get the old 302 down here. It is in the Dodge van for storage. I do need to take the front dressing back off, take the carburetor back off, and put the plate on it. We got the engine hoist down here already, and we got to wheel this out of here. So luckily this should be a lot easier to wheel out than it was to wheel in, since it's downhill and not uphill. There is a bit of a slight downgrade there. I mean, you can tell my driveway goes downhill, so I mean kind of everything else does too. That's just how the shop is. It kind of slopes downhill a little bit, but hey, we work with what we got. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get this thing set up, take up there. I have the beast set up out here with the trailer. Been moving stuff around with it all day. The old 302, all kinds of stuff. We done moved it with that. We're gonna come in here and do the same. This guy, yeah, it was missing the stuff that we have, so that is good. I'm gonna get a tire to put this one on, that way I'll have something to sit on. So I'm gonna go ahead and start turning this off and get ready to move. Alright guys, we've gotten back to where we need to be. Truck's in here. I am winded. Had to drag that all the way up the driveway because I had that in the trailer of the beast and I couldn't move it without the hoist. So we drug it all the way up here from down there and manhandled that out of there. Then we manhandled this unit back in here. I'm tired. I've moved a lot of stuff in here today just to kind of clear out. I had the seat stacked up with some stuff here. I had a bunch of parts over there from the AC that I wasn't going to use anymore, and other parts that were off of this old 302 that I just was not going to use. The one that we took out of the truck, that is. We have everything up here that we're going to use for this unit here. This is a 1978 Lincoln 302. It came out of a Lincoln Versailles, I do believe. So was not stock to Daniel's truck, but hey, I don't mind putting an old Lincoln engine in the old Ford. It's technically the same thing any daggone way. But with that being said, now that we got this up here, I think I'm gonna go take me a quick break because I am tired. Is it peeing something? Thought I heard it peeing something. But yeah, we're gonna go take a quick break because I'm tired. I may come back out here tonight or this evening and stab this engine in the truck, which would be nice, but we'll see how I feel. Alright folks, y'all saw the action. We stabbed it in, and I spent a couple hours finessing it into place. It is bolted to the transmission. All the bell housing bolts are in. The torque converter is completely lined up with the flywheel. The studs are through. Have not been down there yet to bolt everything together. But it's on. We got our manifolds hooked up to our exhaust. We got them on with gaskets. We got all our spark plugs in place. We've got our fuel line hooked up, except for up to the carburetor. We got the carburetor on. We've got the belts on and the alternator on and hooked up and in place. One of our heater core hoses is hooked up. Vacuum's hooked up, except for the rear. We got grounds hooked up. I'm about to put the power steering pump in place, and then we're going to do probably the distributor. And then the thermostat. And we can go ahead and put our radiator in, get all that hooked up, fan, all that good stuff. So that's the plan. Let's get to it. We got a suspension, which is a lug nut, brand new one at that. I drilled it out, cut a little bit of it off, perfect width. We found us some bolts for down there, got all the belts tight. We have our distributor in. We also have our wires ran, radiators in, bottom hoses in with clamps. We're working on putting our top hose and our thermostat in. Also, we have changed out the throttle linkage connector on the 4-barrel Holly here. Got our linkage hooked up for our throttle pedal, and we also have a return spring. We're going to go a little bit of a different route with our fuel, so we're going to do a little kickoff that way. So that's the plan. So yeah, I'm going to put y'all up here on the other camera, and we're going to go ahead and work on tying this together. I did also hook up our ground, which isn't the best ground, but it is a ground. And I got our vacuum advance hooked up. This engine is not timed. I will have to time it. I'm just trying to get everything thrown at it so we can kind of go from there. But it is looking good. It's starting to look complete. We will be getting to the interior in this video for sure, but I want to button up everything under the hood and at least get the hood on it. Alright. We got quite a bit done on this today. I'm impressed with my ability to do this on dirt and gravel. So we got the engine stabbed, we got it mated to the transmission, the torque converter is lined up with the flywheel, motor mounts are all tightened down, everything's tight. We got the whole front dressing kit on it. We did get the power steering pump in place. All the hoses are on. We got our thermostat gasket on, hoses, clamps. Yeah, we are really coming together on this project. We are very close to being done with this project, at least under the hood. It will need a few things here and there. We will need to tweak it. For starters, we're going to need a starter. We'll need some hoses here and there. We will need a air cleaner because I do not have one for this truck. We'll need a battery. We'll need a voltage regulator. Probably need some, at least a ground wire. I don't know if the Duraspark's any good in here. We may need a Duraspark. We may need some stuff. I know it's going to need some oil and a filter, and yeah, I do need to get a little bit of hose to hook up the fuel line. I also need to get a little bit of hose to hook that transmission cooler line up to that little port right there and clamp those off. You know, I need to get a grommet here for the brake booster vacuum. We also need to put on a vacuum port back there tomorrow that will hook us up to everything we need to hook up to vacuum wise. We have that on the other engine down there. We'll pull it. We also need to put a through bolt here because we've yet to do that. We'll need to time this engine. It's a lot to do. It's going to need some antifreeze, quite a bit of stuff. But like I said, in this video, we're probably just going to be buttoning up what we can. I do have to wait to get some money for some things because, I mean, this truck is not the priority. Honestly, blue is, and it needs all those things. It needs a battery. It needs a voltage regulator. It needs antifreeze. So this will definitely be put on the back burner. Until then, I just wanted to do this, get all this buttoned up, and as far as I can, with this truck with what I have until we get some parts, either, you know, donated, somebody's junk, one man's trash is another man's treasure, or if I, you know, finally purchase some stuff to finish this up. Otherwise, it's coming out great. Very happy with it. It looks good. So it definitely don't even look like the same truck under the hood. It looks totally different. So with that being said, we're going to call it a night. It's getting late. I will be back out here again tomorrow, and we'll check off some things, get some plugs on some places, and just get ready to go, or at least ready to get in that interior. Tomorrow, hood. We will do the hood tomorrow. So see you guys then. Alright, it's been a pretty long day. I didn't want to bore y'all with the details of tying this up, but it is done. We got the wiring patched up. I got some old wire conduit I found, tied that in. All the spark plug wires are linked together with a couple of zip ties. Fuel lines in. Torque converter bolts are in. We've got new ish connectors for the battery terminals, new ground wire, and added some grounds, one going to the voltage regulator that doesn't exist yet. We have done quite a bit here. Heater hoses, all that good stuff. New hoses all throughout. We got the bung for the rear of the intake for all the vacuum lines. We got all those hooked up. We got a reservoir tank here. We harvested a lot of parts from the Dodge, quite a bit. Hoses, wiring, connectors, hose clamps. We have everything hose clamped except for one line that I had the junction, which is down here. It's the other transcooler. I need one for that side, one for that side. Then everything under this hood will be clamped. I do believe we're done under here except for those two hose clamps. I'm gonna go locate some, and yeah, after that I guess we're gonna move on to getting the hood back on this thing. It definitely needs a little bit of repair on the bottom side here where it bolts on the bottom of the brackets on both sides, so we'll need to patch that up, get the hood back on. And then we have a ranch hand style push bar bumper that came off of another truck, but I got to looking on here that if we actually come in here and cut these brackets off, use the furthest hole on both of them, come in here and bolt them here and here, having the brackets kicking out this way, we can come over here with the bumper addition, tack it on, take the brackets back loose, and then we can fully weld it and then have a bumper that fits this truck. So we're going to do that. We're going to try to tie up this front end here, and then we're going to move into the cab. I know the cab's not going to be tonight for sure. That'll probably be a tomorrow project, next day project, something like that. Thanksgiving's coming soon. It's in 2 days, so tomorrow might not be a good day. We might be doing shopping and cooking and all that kind of stuff. And then Thanksgiving, of course, is Thanksgiving, but you know, next few days for sure on the interior. But for now, we're going to finish tying up the exterior of this here, since we're done under the hood. Like I said, I'm gonna go find those two hose clamps, and then we're gonna get to putting our hood back on the truck. Alright, so we got our hose clamps on, everything's done under the hood. We were gonna put the hood on tonight, but I noticed that only one side needs patched, and I'm gonna have to beat that stuff into place, and I don't think it's probably a good idea for me to be beating on this big heavy echoey thing tonight. I mean, it's dark, as you see, so I won't piss my neighbors off. Instead, we're gonna piss them off with the grinder. Yeah. So all I gotta do is make 2 cuts. Cut this, cut that, and then we can get these brackets on here and start doing a little welding. Alright, there's the end result. Alright, we got our bumper on, straight, and in place. It's not going anywhere. It's a pretty solid unit. So, heck yeah, eventually we'll mount some pods when I get some. I think that'll be cool. So now that that is done, I know some people out there is gonna be like, I don't like that, blah blah blah. Well, I don't care, it's my truck. It'll look better with the front end having a grill and a hood and everything. So I'll see you guys back out here again tomorrow, where we'll go ahead and get the hood on it and in place, fixed and done, and then we can move on to cab work. Fun stuff. See you guys tomorrow. Alright, good morning and happy Thanksgiving. It is Thanksgiving. I know this video isn't going to drop on Thanksgiving, it'll be way after, but happy late Thanksgiving. Got Goob out here with us today, aka Marshall the shop dog. We got our bumper on. Wasn't last night, it was night before last. And we were going to get to the hood, but it was raining and it was dark out, so we decided not to do it. But today we're going to patch our hood and get it back on the truck. That way this front end is tied up, at least with what I have here, and then we can focus on the inside of the cab, and then of course sand and body work and paint will be in another video. We did come out here, was it night before last when we got off the camera. I actually decided to pull the tank out. So that tank is bad. Has a hole in it. Very rusty tank. So I decided to do a little delete. So we yanked it out, straps and all. It's over here. I'll show y'all just how bad this tank is. Big old hole right there. I think they tried to patch it with something there, because I doubt that's a bung, a drain bung. But I mean, you can see rust all throughout this tank. So she is garbage, and garbage it will be. And if any of y'all think that's fancy word for garbage, so garbage. We've got the rear exposed now, so when we get some paint we can finish painting the frame. We got it up to this point, but I'd like to, you know, tie everything in and get everything sprayed down to protect it. There is some patchwork on this frame that we need to do. That'll be in another video. But yeah, just wanted to show y'all we did get the tank out. And I guess now it's just time for the hood, where we can move into the cab and get a seat in there and a floor coated, patched up. Alright, hood is back on. That actually worked perfect. We didn't even have to put the third bolt in it. It's good. I mean, you can see it. It's good. So, with that being done, we can close that up. Oh yeah. Look at that. Look at that. Ooh, buddy. She's coming along, guys. She is coming along. That front end is almost done, except for the parts we're lacking. You know, our marker lights, our turn signals down there, our grill frame. We have the grill. We have headlight bezels we can make work in this truck. I'd really like to get the round headlights. Also need to get our Ford going across the hood there. But all in all, she's almost there. Need to get some paint for these wheels and get some dog dishes for sure. Some emblems for the cab. You know, little things here and there that'll tie this thing together and make it look real nice. But so far, yeah, she's coming together. I'm happy with it. I guess at this point we are ready to move into the cab. I guess today I probably will do some work, even though it is Thanksgiving. I'm waiting on food to be cooked, and I don't see why we can't do some stuff to this old girl. Alright folks, well unfortunately I know y'all really want to see me tear into this interior, but the video's getting a little too long and I don't want to make a huge freaking movie out of it. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to do a two-parter where we do the interior in the next one. Plus, unfortunately, I'm still waiting for stuff for the interior. I need some carpet, I need some material to do a headliner. I need a little bit of metal material to finish the seat frame, and then I can kind of put everything together. Otherwise, we do have the floor coated. It's going to be in the next video, and a couple other things that we've done will be in the next video, so y'all be sure to stay tuned for that. And the best way to do that is hit that subscribe button and that all notification bell. That way you're notified every time we put out a video every week. We did get our computer. It is set up. We are editing. Everything's back to normal. We'll be putting a video out every week, and we're putting out some shorts during the week, so y'all be sure to stay tuned for those if y'all want to see that. Be sure to follow the Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and come join us on Facebook, Flying Brown's Garage, Mud and Race Noise. Share your builds, share your ideas. If you're interested in abandoned content, the adventure exploring side of me, check out Adventure in the Brine. Links down below in the description. And before I forget, shout out to all my awesome subscribers. One of them being Jeff in Virginia. Shout out to you, buddy. You're out there saving stuff too, and I think that's awesome. So I love seeing your comments every week. I surely appreciate you watching and your dedication to the channel here. It's very much appreciated seeing them, you know, just some hillbilly down in Georgia. Not really a big subscriber base or anything of that, but you know, I'm not really trying to get there. I don't want, you know, big money and stuff like that. Even if I did get it, I'd still act the way I am. I don't want people knowing I got a bunch of stuff anyway. So, you know, I'm just kind of doing this for my enjoyment. If it blows up to something, I hope it does, you know, at least to make a little bit of money and put things back into the shop would be great, but I'm not trying to get rich by any means. That's not a dream of mine, so yeah, I just want to be content. Be able to pay the bills, be content with life. I think that's enough to ask for. Ain't no reason to be rich. But if I was, I'd probably help people with it, you know, just to be honest. But enough of me blabbering. Thanks for watching. I really do appreciate you guys. Everybody that likes, comments, subscribes, follows the other platforms and everything. It's really good to see some people that kind of enjoy my content. Sometimes I even enjoy kind of watching it. I don't know. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Hopefully it will be the Indy. I don't know. I can't make any promises. I'm still trying to figure out what we're going to do yet. And I hope it's finishing the Indy, but it may not be. We may have to wait for parts. Y'all may be seeing blue. So y'all stay tuned. We may be finishing blue next week. If not, we'll come up with something good, I promise. And until then, we'll see you guys on the next episode. If you're in the mood, go to the channel, playlists, there's a bunch there. If not, see you on the next one.